To caulk or not to caulk? That is the question. And we're talking about caulking your toilet. Over the years, I have been referred to as the potty queen because I have taught so many classes with a toilet theme. I have shot videos on it, and I even wrote a book with a toilet theme. It is called Flush the Fear, and this one is a self-improvement book rather than a home improvement book. It's on Amazon if you want to check it out. But I am fascinated by toilets, and what I am so fascinated about is that it's a universal experience that we all share. So from my early days as an RN, I had to deal with patients and the toilets. Then I raised 3 boys. I had another set of issues around the toilet. And then for the last 10 years, I have been a contractor dealing with toilets. So I have a fondness for the potty, right down to my little keychain and my mug. So I want to talk to you about the big question of whether or not we should caulk around the base of our toilets. Make sure you subscribe here because every week I bring you practical content. I don't want to give you a lot of fluff. I want to give you practical information that you can use to save money, stress, and time, because that's what Hip Chicks is all about. I also don't want you to miss out on more educational support on how to get your caulking projects done. The first is the Girl's Guide to Caulk. You can click the link up there, and that will take you to my PDF guide on how to caulk your bathtub in 30 minutes or less so that you can enjoy that bubble bath instead of staring at the mold and mildew. Now, the second thing is Caulky Talk. It is a regularly scheduled webinar style event that I have that I will teach you all the things you need to know about caulking, from indoor, outdoor, what to buy, what goes where. So this way you can stop water infiltration, minimize pests, and have everything looking pretty. So be sure to check those out. Let's talk about the toilet in particular. What are the pros and the cons of caulking the toilet? So imagine that we're at the big bowl and we have the base of the toilet and it is bolted to the floor. The only thing holding that toilet down are 2 bolts that are seated under a metal or plastic flange that is screwed to the floor. So the 2 bolts sticking up that we see on each side is really all that's holding that to the floor. And the wax seal, which is on the very bottom. Now, some of the pros to caulking the toilet is that it will help stabilize the bowl. If you put caulk around the base here, it just kind of glues it a little bit. Even though we're not using glue per se, it does kind of stick it to the floor. Now, according to the International Plumbing Code, all toilets are supposed to be caulked or sealed to the floor. It not only stabilizes the bowl, but it's believed to also protect the wax ring so that it does not shift as much because the toilet is more stable. Some people believe that caulking the bowl to the floor prevents the sewer gas odors from working their way up. Now, if that wax ring is fully intact, then it shouldn't be an issue either. And many people believe they want the toilet caulked because it prevents stuff from getting underneath the toilet where you can't reach easily to clean. So in addition to people stuff, it's also when you're cleaning. If you have, a soppy wet mop and you're cleaning around the bowl, water can seep under. Now, I don't take a soppy wet mop to my home floors. I'm much more careful. I'll use a spray, a sponge, and I'm not slopping dirty water everywhere. So in a commercial setting, I do believe that caulking the toilet is worth consideration. But let me share with you the cons. Frankly, if you don't caulk well, it creates an eyesore. You really need to master caulking if you want it to look good. And that's my goal for that Caulky Talk class, so make sure you check it out. But it's important that you caulk well. You want the bead, the line around whatever it is you're caulking, to be very smooth, to be as minimal as needed to seal it up, but enough that you don't have gaps and cracks. Now, some folks will use the wrong color, which will draw your attention to it and take away from the look and feel in your bathroom. And some people, like I said, just do it very sloppily. So you end up with dust and hair and stuff that drips its way down that is now stuck to your caulk. So for me, that's just one more thing I have to clean. I have to clean the base of the bowl, I have to clean the floor, and I have to try to keep that caulk line clean. I don't care whether you buy a $50 tube of caulk that says it's going to last for 50 years. Most caulks never last as long as they say on the tube. So be prepared to have to re-caulk every 4 to 5 years because, like I said, it gets gummy and dirty and things get stuck to it and it just doesn't clean easily itself. And then there's this reason, and the most common reason why people don't want to caulk their toilet. There's the wax ring underneath the bowl. It's set on the opening of the bowl to go into the floor for our waste. Now the wax ring is seated there, but if the wax ring breaks down over time and there is a leak, some people prefer to have the leak come right out onto the floor so that you can see it, that it will come out from underneath the toilet and you can identify it. Now, some people say, nope, it's just going to leak down into the floor below, into, the rooms below that toilet. It's hard to tell. We don't quite know what that leaking water will do and where it will go. It could go either place. Now, some schools of thought say that you should caulk around the front of your toilet, but that you should leave a gap in the back. You should leave a couple inches on both sides open so that if water is going to leak, it'll leak out the back. So what does this hip chick do with the toilets in her house? Well, for me, caulking around the base of the toilet is a no-go. I don't want to see the caulk on the floor. I have hardwood floors throughout my first floor that are just beautiful, and I like the clean look of the porcelain sitting right there. I disinfect with a towel or rag. I don't mop and have water sloshing around. Now upstairs in our bathrooms we do have ceramic tile, but still I've never seen a need to caulk. I prefer to get a toothbrush and scrub under there and even pass the steamer along the edge to kind of break up any gunk and odors. So you have to choose for yourself what works. So I've been in my house 24 years, 3 toilets, none of them have ever been caulked to the floor. And I'm perfectly fine with that. We've not had any leaks, we've not had any significant odors, and I also just like the clean look that it provides. And honestly, it's one more thing for me to have to clean, to replace, and manage over the years. And like I said, if you don't do it well, it's not going to look good. So for you folks who are caulkers and you want to seal this toilet to the floor for whatever reasons you believe in, I want to make sure that you do it right. So the first and most important thing is to make sure you buy the right caulk. You don't want to be using painter's caulk, you don't want to be using exterior. You want to make sure that you're using kitchen and bath caulk. This one is honestly what I would go to. This is the Quick Seal Ultra by DAP. It repels soap, scum, stains, and dirt, again, to a point. It does say that it has a lifetime warranty. Again, maybe 5 years is what you're going to get out of it. It is siliconized, so it's not 100% silicone. It has silicone in it, which is perfect. You want to make sure you match to the bowl, or you opt for clear if you don't have floors and bowls that are close in color. Make sure that you have a standard caulk gun to go with your tube of caulk, and make sure that you tune in to my How to Open a Tube of Caulk video. It has just thousands and thousands of views. I just break it down real simply, how you can use the gun with the cutting tool on board and the spike to open this. It should take you less than 30 seconds to open a tube of caulk and get your project started. So when you get started, you want to make sure that you clean the area first. You're going to really clean around here. You can gently take a scraping tool and get rid of any of the gunk that is already under that edge. Ideally, if you want to caulk your toilet, it's best to do it at the time that you reinstall the toilet, so everything under it is clean and fresh, so you don't have any odors that you're trapping. And you want to make sure that you use tape on the floor. Ideally, you're going to put tape masking tape or painter's tape all the way around the base so you don't get it all over your floor. You want to do this especially where the grout lines are. So you don't want to get the caulk on the grout line. It's okay if it's on the surface of the tile because you can easily wipe that off. But if you have hardwood flooring, even laminate or the LVP, the vinyl plank with the textured surfaces, I would definitely run the tape around. The taping might take you a little bit because you're doing it on a curve. So you want to leave just about 1/8 of an inch around the base of open so that you have that little gap where you're going to run your tube of caulk. Now, you're going to start on whatever side you can access more easily, I think, and you're just going to run a thin bead all the way around. You're going to take a dampened finger and smooth it all out. Let it dry for a few minutes, and then after it has set, honestly, give it about an hour. You can then peel off your tape and you should have a nice clean caulk line. So whether you are on the caulk or no caulk side of the bowl, that is totally up to you. You've heard the pros and cons. You'll have to make that decision for yourself. Whether it is a functional issue or it is an aesthetic issue, you have to know your house, the people in it, and how much maintenance and cleaning you want to set yourself up for. So I hope this was helpful. Please make sure you subscribe. We'll be back here next week with more content that, again, will save you money, stress, and time.